Welcome to Nerdist Podcast number 789. This episode is brought to you by Mozilla.org, the new Firefox. Fast for good, Mozilla builds products, technology, and programs that make the internet a little bit healthier of a place. Since using it helps Mozilla grow a healthier internet for everyone, you get to do good too and contribute. Learn more and download the new Firefox 2 times faster at mozilla.org. Katie, let's go to the Nerdist Community Corkboard. I know there's one that I was also going to share, but you asked if you could share it, so we are both sharing it together.
Yes.
It's for our friend Dan Telfer.
Yes, he was recently diagnosed with cancer.
DT.
And so if he has a family, he's got a wife, he's got a couple kids. And
He lives in Pasadena.
It's tough. It's tough. So someone set up a YouCaring site for him.
Yeah, his brother set up the YouCaring
Yeah, so if you go to youcaring.com and search Dan Telfer, that's Telfer.
We created a URL for it.
I didn't find
We created
a
URL for it because I know that those crowdfunding sites can have really long.
Yeah.
It's danrulescancerdrools.com.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, so Dan, the prognosis is good. Dan's a great guy. He works on At Midnight. He will continue to work on At Midnight.
And he's so funny. Follow him on Twitter.
He does.
He's
one of the people that runs our social media, and he was also on the last stand-up cluster. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Dan. I know his target funding was $15,000, and they did raise past that, but he doesn't know exactly what this process is exactly going to be. So anything beyond that is also very helpful. So please go support Dan. He's a good guy and he's got a sweet family, and you should help him out.
Yep.
Anything else? If we go over, right? Let's say we go over this $15,000. Great. And then, right? Let's say he gets his treatment, everything works out. Hopefully, he can use the extra to move out of Pasadena.
It is far away.
But
if you're raising a family, Pasadena's a nice town.
Sure is.
Well,
Burbank's also lovely.
It's kind of funny you mentioned Pasadena because the other thing on the corkboard has to do with Pasadena. It's the Artemis Film Festival.
Artemis?
Artemis Film Festival in Pasadena, April 22nd through the 24th.
Are they just screening the Wild Wild West?
No, that's Artemis is a character.
Wiki wah.
Yep.
No, but it's at the Lemley Playhouse 7 Theater. It sounds like it's going to be really cool, and you can find more info at artemisfilmfestival.com.
By the way, did you ever watch the original Wild Wild West, the TV version?
Great.
I knew you would love that show. It's a great show.
It's like James Bond, Old West James Bond.
Old West James Bond.
Yeah, it's great.
And had an amazing opening title sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I feel like I want to go back and watch Wild Wild West again.
Great. If we could just maybe get the rights to that and make an actual movie.
They tried.
They sure did.
They really tried. Their hearts were in the right place. Go back and remake that, Hollywood. Angela Bassett, who was rad. She'd been doing junkets all day, and she still came in so energetic and so wonderful. And she's promoting London Has Fallen. It's in theaters Friday, March 4th.
And if we can get this hashtag trending,
Bassett, what was it?
Bassett was it Bassett Trek 2016?
Yeah,
Bassett Trek 2016.
Yeah,
Bassett to make her a captain.
I want her on
this on the new Star Wars and on the new Star Trek series. I was a slip.
New Star Trek series also hired Nicholas Meyer as a writer.
When are you going to hire Matt Myra on the new Star Trek series?
But
Star Trek.
Come on, Nicholas Myers. He did. Everyone remembers Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan. He wrote and directed. He also wrote and directed Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. 2 of the greatest entries into the Star Trek universe.
He's not going to stop.
Nicholas Myers did, and I'm very excited. So I feel like if Matt Myra could also be there, that'd be great. We'd have Myers and Myers.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Scout. You probably already know.
Katie's dog's the unofficial mascot. Mm-hmm. She lies there. And that's pretty much it.
We should get some pet paint and put the Nerdist logo on her. I saw that on Shark Tank.
So fast. Yeah. What did you see on Shark Tank?
Pet paint. Someone was in there pitching biodegradable paint for your pet, so you could paint them up for like holidays.
Is that recent?
I would say it's probably a season 5-er.
Watch Shark Tank. I missed that.
I feel like Damon. I think
Would you paint your pet?
Did anyone-
It was either Damon that invested, or it was
more than a hobby.
Yeah.
God, who invested in that?
It
Pet
became a thing?
Yes, it did.
Got a deal, huh?
Yeah, they got a deal,
Did.
Oh, I thought someone painted you.
and
with
it's
pet
on
paint.
it's on the shelves at Petco.
And then you got to wash the dog too, right?
God, I can't even think. I can't.
Oh, okay.
I did little red, white, and blue stars on my dog. For
Okay.
4th of July.
Barbara. I think it was
So
Barbara.
it's sort of like this
Barbara
whole thing
Corcoran.
of like colorful hair, like blue hair.
Yeah, I guess just gives you the opportunity to decorate your dog, and they can't do anything about it because they're your dog.
Hey, right, and they don't have style.
Exactly.
Right?
You can do whatever you can do whatever sort of non-invasive. Aww. Katie, will you please get pet paint and paint the Nerds logo on the back of
You got
Scout
it.
one of these days? Okay, good.
Just
You
totally
got
do it.
time. You got time.
you
And then
you like
whoever,
I don't have
depending
any
on who's
artistic
sponsoring the
abilities,
podcast.
but
Do you have time to watch television ever?
oh, after a long day, I got to go home and decompress, just veg out on the couch, and
Right? Shark Tank's perfect for that.
yeah, with DVR, you can not miss anything. Damn it!
Do you need to? Do you have to watch? Because I find working in comedy, I don't watch a lot of comedy when I go home. When you're working on dramatic stuff, can you not go home and watch like intense drama stuff, or do you need to watch?
Some reality, stupid, non-committal,
Dumb stuff,
dumb
right? Where you don't need your
stuff
brain.
that if my husband walks through, I'm like trying to get out of it real quick.
No, this documentary on the Civil War is very interesting.
She gets it. She knows. That's why I sit and just watch Chopped. Like, it's like, yeah, sure, I'll watch
You're not a dramatic actor,
Bunch
though.
of dummies.
She's an incredible
That's
amount
fair.
of focus all day.
Yeah,
That's
I
fair.
try. Yeah, you got to be in
It takes
the mood,
focus to write dick jokes, Chris.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I know. Have you been doing press all day?
I have.
You look amazing.
Do I? Okay.
I mean, you look
Larry.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you. I got a Jello brain, but
It is.
yeah.
You do get Jello brain by the end of the day. What part of your brain do you have to start accessing when it starts to turn? Because this is going to be a very easy, laid back conversation.
Oh, I appreciate that.
We're not we're not trying to railroad you with any hard hitting questions. We're not trying to make you feel. I want you to leave here feeling better than when you got here.
All right.
Is that possible?
I looking around. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no, you got
Yeah.
you got a couple bearded guys in hoodies, and then a jean jacket lady, and I'm in a sweatshirt and a dog.
And a
like
dog who's like, they want to paint me. I'm looking east. I'm looking east. This orange collar is not enough for them. Damn it, James.
Come to a clubhouse today.
Okay.
There's no junket stuff. It's all over. You done after this? Is this it? You get
We
to.
got more tomorrow and even more next week. Yeah.
I always wondered.
It's like,
Have you done the
toward
junket, or is that
No,
today?
not yet.
Oh,
It
God.
just today was the first day,
Buckle up.
so it started. It starts today.
Did
Just
you-
me until May 1st or something like that. Like I got stuff to do. I got kids. Come on.
You know what you should do is you should just have your kids do all the interview you for all the junkets, because then
From your house.
Yeah, exactly. Then you'd never have to leave your house. You'd be spending time with your kids. You'd have complete control over whatever the interviews are, and then you would never have to go anywhere.
I would like
after
that. I would like that.
Mom, why did London
I
fall?
was like, wake up.
I'm being the kid.
Go clean your room. I always kind of wonder if when did you go to Yale drama?
And undergrad.
Oh wow!
I did not have enough. Yeah.
So you did Yale drama undergrad and then you did the master's program?
No. What'd you say? Say
You
that
did Yale
again?
drama undergrad and you did the master's
yeah.
program.
Yale undergrad.
As drama.
The program was only 2 years in existence, so it was like, take all 5 of those drama classes and add it to an English major or a history major or something, 'cause
Oh, they were just
So
coming
you were a
with
guinea
it.
pig to figure out how this program will work.
Yeah, by the skin of my chin did I come out with a degree of any sort.
I just kind of wonder why they don't if they're training people to be actors, they must assume, well, these people are going to work. why are there not classes in like, here's how you do a junket, here's how you survive a panel talk show, here's how you survive an interview with a hostile reporter.
That is too far into the future. That would really be projecting.
We've brought in Byron Allen today to ask you questions against a backdrop.
Byron. Listen, it was a conservatory training. It was staged. You didn't even stage training, so you didn't get training on. I remember I left New Haven and went to New York, and it was about television and commercials, and so you didn't have training in that.
Yeah.
So I was like happy to get a soap opera search for tomorrow. And
you did Search for Tomorrow?
Yeah, Guiding Light, Search for Tomorrow. And it was like, okay, they're paying me, but I'm going to school to learn how to act in front of a camera. And I remember my teacher said, don't wave the rubber chicken. Stop indicating. Theater, you got to hit the back of the wall. So everything's big, and you have to enunciate and project. And it's too much for the small screen.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Especially on a soap opera, though, which I imagine you're getting pages the day you're shooting, right? And they're just like, here, stand over there, be upset.
Right.
I mean, that had to be an equal amount of education in terms
It was. I'd come home, I'd sit in front of the television and with my little pen and paper, just like you. What are you writing over there? And I would, take notes. Oh, that was too much. Oh, that was a little much. Oh, I was over the top. Oh, okay, that's not too bad. So it took time. You can always bring it back, I think.
Yeah.
From stage, you're a stage actor, you can always pull it back. It's when you have to, could you give a little bit more enthusiasm? Could you pump it up? So,
can you watch yourself? Like when you shoot a movie or shoot a television show, can you watch it?
Absolutely. I can.
Good.
Although I've met actors, one of my co-stars in London Has Fallen. He said he doesn't watch himself. I was like, and I got to do an interview with this press with you, and you haven't seen it. So, yeah.
Yeah, some people feel that if they watch it, they become too aware of what they're doing. But I feel like, how can you know what you're doing unless you see it as an audience member?
I don't get it either. But I think I have a good third eye. That's why I call it,
Yeah.
Which is why I went into directing last year. Always having the eye toward, how are you holding the space? How are you commanding the space, the scenes?
Was that something you always wanted to do, directing?
You go through periods of wanting it more, and then it's like, it's too hard. Too hard to get this happening. You just go back to your comfort zone. So it just sort of fell into my laps, and I enjoyed it. And I really liked the editing process. I thought that would bore me to tears.
I've never heard anyone say that.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, because it's.
Oh, I bet but you've been acting for so long that it's. I assume it would be very interesting for you to see that part of the process.
Yeah, very.
Were you ever like, oh no,
almost...
she's not going to like that take. Don't use that take.
Right. Or you could almost, like, you have the movie as you're acting it, then as you're directing it, and then you can massage it in the editing room sometimes and just move things around and create a whole nother thing.
I guess
hopefully, if you have the good bones to work with.
It always feels so stressful to me because I think there's an infinite number of possibilities for the way that this could turn out. How do you know what the right path is?
I know. That's the stressful part, especially since I'm a person who likes options, as opposed to just make a decision and go with it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I like to perform. Well, let's try with this note. Let's try this note. Let's try this tone. Let's not all play the same instrument and the same note, which I think is what a scene is about. But it's easy to get caught up in that, directing the actor. He may pick, if someone's got a strong personality, you pick up their momentum and tone. And it's like, no. We can't occupy the same space,
Yeah. What do you have an idea of what your directing style is yet?
Let's see. Don't be afraid to admit you don't know it all. Appreciate definitely, all the other, craftsmen in the lane that they occupy.
Yeah.
And just let your actors feel as if they are everything, that they are absolutely divine perfection in a room. So that they're not afraid to fall on their face or ass or anything else for you.
Yeah. So
because you're there for them.
It's important for you to make them as comfortable as possible.
Absolutely. That's who's inspired me. That's when I felt the best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I think as an actor, you're really vulnerable, and it's really about like laying yourself bare. You know, really being available to the character, to the director, to their condescension, to them. I mean, to being judged, to being, no, that's not right. That's not right. That's not enough. It's, it can be, frightful, mean, So if you, just coax them along, make them feel just really genuinely comfortable, like they can't make a mistake, they're everything. And then people will give you all they got.
You played so many characters that are so strong. Mm-hmm. Do you always feel that way? I mean, do you find yourself in a situation where you're working with someone and you feel you don't? How am I going to bring that? How am I going to fake that today?
Yeah. Oh, you got to just fake it. You just got to bring. I remember, working with Kathy Bates. So that's what comes to mind when we did Coven and my first scene. Going to New Orleans, love New Orleans, going on this.
I watched that season.
I watched it. What was it, the third season? These actors have been together, their little family, and I'm coming down here. Oh, great role, wonderful. And my first scene is with Kathy Bates, who I was, just had such, respect for, seeing her, on Broadway before Misery and all that even took place. I mean, she was just the man on Broadway. No, she was a woman on Broadway. And so, I mean, knees really shaking, but thankfully it was in the 1800s. I had a big old skirt on, petticoats. You really couldn't see it, bring some attitude and, But she couldn't have been nicer. But it's just respect, I think. It's just respect, regard. Same feeling I had working with Meryl Streep. Oh, my gosh. You're sitting there, hair and makeup, and you're like, I got this scene with her. And she's like, oh, I was so nervous to be working with you. And you're like, what? Surely you lie. But tell me more lies. Tell me more lies. You make me feel so good.
I mean, it's comforting in a way to hear that, as much amazing work as you've done, that you still have those moments where you still feel like, oh, I'm a brand new performer and this is fresh and this is new and I'm nervous and I think it's nice.
It's great. Yeah.
Do you think
don't take it for granted? Don't like, oh, I've seen this, done this, whatever. I hate that. I just love show up on the set, on the room, and as long as you can keep the wonder and the enthusiasm and the first love business about it. Oh.
Were you always that way? Or did you have to learn to be that way for this business?
Oh, I think I am that. I think I am that way. There's, you grow up, you go to movies, watch television, whatever, and, you have your folk you admire and idols, and of course it was always, are they nice? Are they nice? You're so disappointed when they're not. Oh, so disappointed. But
we know you're talking about Morgan Freeman.
What?
He's kidding.
He's
been on the podcast. It's okay.
He's been on the podcast. He was so sweet.
He is. I working in London this fall, and I was nervous to work with him also because I remember I did this play on Broadway and he was on the board and he came. I was doing the Scottish play, Macbeth, with, I could say that here, we're not in the theater.
We're not in the theater. You're good to say it here.
I have to spit and turn around 3 times. And so he came to opening night and I think he was a friend of Alex, and I remember he was eating grapes, our grapes off the table, standing right next to my dressing room. And, you just come off stage. You just bared your soul. You just like the queen of stage. Just crying, just giving it up. And you got to say something.
Yeah, sure.
In the theater, you got to say, I saw you up there. You gotta say something. You can't say nothing. And of course, an actor will hear that and they'll be like, oh, he liked me. Yeah, and he's like, you were up there on the stage. He said nothing.
What?
And I was just like, ooh. I was like, he's from the theater. He
knows better.
He knows better.
You found out later the grapes weren't seedless, and he was busy.
Right. He was hungry. It was a long show, that Scottish play. So I was like, But then, years pass, and now I'm working with him, and I was like, eating those grapes. And I came in, and he couldn't have been nicer. He's sitting to the left of me. He's singing songs all day long. Just a humming, just a going, just a bop, because a lot of time waiting around on the set. And I don't think he remembers. He don't remember it at all. But he couldn't have been warmer, funnier, lovelier.
That's why you got to show up with grapes and ignore Morgan Freeman the whole time. You're like, these grapes are really good.
You do get a second chance to make a first impression.
What do you prefer? Do you prefer the bigness of the theater?
I love theater. Yeah, my husband and I, Courtney B. Vance.
Yes.
He's crushing it right now.
Into People versus
Oh my
OJ.
God.
Is he not
I just
killing
watched
the game?
the first 3 episodes last night.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
I love him.
Oh, Courtney, yeah,
He's my
he's
favorite
doing it.
of the Law and Orders.
you've seen every Law and Order.
I've seen, not every Law and Order, regular Law and Order. Once Sam Waterston left, I was like, I can't keep up with regular Law and Order anymore. And then once D'Onofrio left,
Ooh, was he
was
not
like,
crazy when that started?
Oh.
You're like, wait a minute, I can't get with
D'Onofrio,
this crazy Law and Order.
he was his own Dutch Angle, Vincent D'Onofrio. Like, he would show up and he'd lean.
Oh, I'm
and I would
busy.
just be like,
I'm trying to do that. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, God, that went to my head.
it was like, he was, oh, God.
He
And then when he started having that,
everything.
like, when he would, like, miss weeks of taping and because he was, like, exhausted from, they said he was exhausted from the acting on that show. I'm like, well, if you're doing that every fucking second, of course you're going to be exhausted. Your blood's not flowing correctly.
Right.
You're always half leaning. Do you ever watch Criminal Intent?
I did not watch Criminal Intent.
Oh, get on the bandwagon.
I was such
But after a while, like an itch,
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
began to satisfy.
Yeah,
It's good.
Yeah. I didn't. I loved it. Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry.
catch all.
I know. Yeah, Courtney was in.
I just went off on a-
courtrooms of that.
Yeah,
In the
I just went
courtroom
off
he
on a
started
B.
the
Vance.
first- Yeah, but then after like the first week, he was no longer Carver in the courtroom.
Right,
'cause
right.
D'Onofrio
Yeah, you spent
knew
too much time.
everything, the
Yeah.
answer to
Yeah.
everything. So now
he didn't need a
gets to play
prosecutor at
out
that point.
his courtroom theatrics. Yeah,
That's
which
so
is
nice.
good.
So you guys have
Which is
been
good.
married since like '97.
Yeah, forever.
That's fantastic.
Is it?
It is fantastic. It is fantastic.
yeah.
No, because
He's
it
pretty
just
cool.
I am getting married in August,
Oh,
and no,
yeah.
We're so
we
proud
just
of
got
him.
married
I did. Oh, thank
a
you.
few months ago,
Congratulations.
and in a town and a business that seems a little mercurial, and obviously because people travel, they get stuck on different jobs. That can be difficult, and like to see someone maintain a relationship, for 20 years is really, it's nice, it's inspiring, and it also makes you feel like, oh, it's possible. People,
It's possible.
People can do it.
Find the right one. Find the right one.
How did you know?
What I appreciated about him is that he was so supportive and good to everybody, to people. I guess he gets that from his mom. I mean, she's like the same way. If she comes to visit, I mean, she lives with us now, but if he says, oh, I got to get up and change the sprinklers at 4 a.m., I'll be like, good luck with that. She's like, I'll get up with you, hon. And she's, but he's that. He's there, to support you, rah-rah, cheer you. And he don't get tired. He ain't lazy.
He always wore a Breitling on that show. I remember his watch. I don't know, like
That was my first Christmas gift.
You're shitting me.
No, I'm not.
I always remember that watch.
That's
and I was
what
like,
he
that's a good
wanted.
watch.
That's why.
It was that exact watch?
Yeah, little
Well
Ray
done.
Brightley. Yeah.
Yes.
Good eye.
Wow.
Wow, you are
Good
amazing.
eye.
Wow.
Yeah.
My
Well
weird
done.
nerdiness for watches and procedurals has really come in handy
It's
here.
come together.
You see that, Mom? It wasn't wasted time.
That's a good. I mean, what you're saying right now, I think, is for anyone who's met a guy that they like, ask if they have a good relationship with their mom. If they have a good relationship with their mom,
That's just You're just saying that because you have a good relationship with your mom.
So does Courtney. Sounds like he's got a good relationship with his mom.
He does.
See, it's
Very,
important.
very
That's good. It's good. I'm not saying it's not possible.
Well, OJ had a great relationship with his mother.
All right, okay. Well,
I don't know if you know this, but he wrote 3 letters.
Okay, so there's some holes. There's some holes.
Good relation and narcissism intersect. Oh my God. So, like everything, it's not all.
Yeah.
Always.
It's not a steadfast rule. It doesn't apply to everything.
Yeah.
It's not gravity.
No, but you know what though? Okay, but that's not going to.
You can say most of the time.
No, but he was
in many cases.
But he was a star athlete. I think being a star athlete like screws with people's brains.
No, I think him being a football player and getting CTE screwed with his brain.
Is that for sure?
That's the new
Concussion
theory.
Scared the hell out of me, that movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
I was like, I ain't got hit in the brain. What is my problem? What's my problem sometimes?
I played 3 years in high school as a nose guard. I'm like, oh God, what is going on in my head? That could explain a lot.
Could explain a lot. Yeah. You could just go home and go, honey, I figured out what it is. I get hit in the head a lot.
Tell my therapist next week. Guess what? Just solved the problem for you, buddy.
Get hit in the head. No, where's my money? I'm going to make him pay you. So you were born in New York.
Yes, born in New York City.
And then you moved to St. Petersburg,
moved
Florida.
To Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem.
Yeah, because my sister is like 15 months younger than I, so... Moved to Winston, my father's sister on Golden, and she was like her name, Golden person. And after 4 years, I guess, mom, dad split up. Mom going, she went to New York. All of her siblings went to New York right after 12th grade, right out of high school. Oh, wow. And did her thing, rough, whatever, had her time. And my dad, then she went on back home, stopped in North Carolina, picked me up, kept going.
down to Florida.
Right. Guess what? We're still moving.
Yeah. What did you do in St. Petersburg, Florida?
Oh, not too much. It was good. Went to Bogosiega High School, Daytona Beach. Not Daytona, Distant. That's what it was. Distant. Daytona Beach was the other side of the state.
Trying to get a much better location.
Let me see. Grew up. Walked across the street, hopped the fence. Hey, go to first, second, third, sixth grade. It was easy. Then, seventh grade, they started busing. Mm-hmm. So, you get on the bus and then you're going way across town with all kinds of folk, white flight. I look back at my little, yearbook and it was like, oh, I remember her. But you remember these faces, all these faces. It was only a seventh grade class. When they bused me across town, this little middle school or something. The idea of middle school was only seventh grade, so it was small, and we were kids, so we were lovely. Now they were having problems in high school. People were bringing dogs and brass knuckles and all kind of frightening things, and principals who were sergeants in armies and keeping people straight, and we were like, I don't want to fight. Did that, but it was interesting, and and also I was involved in an enrichment summer weekend program called Upward Bound at the local college there, Eckerd College, and there was a teacher a director of the program who came through one year, and he saw something in me. When you have people who speak into your lives, and it makes just, a world of difference, because I grew up with, single mom who, like I said, she headed to New York and was like a hospital aide, that's what she qualified to do. She hadn't gone to college herself. My Aunt Golden had. She was, that one who every summer take some courses, go back to school, go back to work every summer until she just on and on to the doctorate degree. Wow. So I had these, that one who's in there working hard, making, getting $1 out of 10 cents, and this aunt who's sending us, the kids, her straight A's, as inspiration. So they were just two very inspirational women in my life.
Well, so what happened in the Upward Bound program?
it was like kids from the neighborhood, friends, we would party. We get to spend 6 weeks on a college campus away from mom. And it was about, sprinklers went on at like 12:15. But the parties over in your dorm. So it was a lot of mystery and intrigue and stealth and maneuvers, across the campus and, climbing out of windows and that sort of thing. But, good fun, not too dangerous, not trying to do anything that would, change your life too radically when you've got dreams.
What were your dreams? What were your dreams? When you're dreaming at that point, when you're daydreaming at that point and going, this is what I want from my life, what was it?
Oh my gosh! Other than like marrying somebody from one of the brothers from the Jackson 5, it was
Tito, wasn't it?
You remind me of Tito. You're so rugged.
I'll take that as a
handsome.
compliment.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah, I mean it is one. But it was my mother's dream. You're going to college. Because she hadn't, and she was like, she made C's and D's, so she was always constantly on my sister and I. And it was like, you come home, Mom, let me have my compelling argument. Okay, it's not an A, it's not a B. It's a C. C is average, but I don't have average kids. So it was sort of like, how you sort of get a spanking, but you kind of feel good about it. I'm not average. So that changes the way you perceive yourself and think. Don't settle for average or mediocrity. It's a heavy mantle to bear, but bear it you must. And, she would sit you down for hours and hours and hours at that little linoleum floor, little, fake wood kitchen table. You're like, Lord, why did I not behave? This is going to be a 5-hour talk to.
She's going to bore you into straightening up.
Ooh, yes. Do you know what pot is?
Why, do you want some?
Do you know what grass is? It was like, and not that stuff out there. My cousin Connie gave me grass, and I didn't know my ass from a hole in the ground. A hole in the ground? Is that? But she was wonderful. But she wanted my sister and I to go to college. She didn't know where. She didn't care where. Except when I got into Mount Holyoke. And she said, Angela, there's two kind of lesbians. I was like, Ma, born and made. Like, what are you talking about?
Hey,
Yeah.
those are some wise words.
Yeah, my mom knew more than I gave her credit for. It's like, I guess I'm going to Yale. They gave me the scholarship. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Yeah.
So you still managed to, it sounds like you still managed to have some fun in high school, but somehow you were able to focus and get into Yale. Mm-hmm. What was
Because I just get right up to the edge of fun. Tip over. Yeah. And then pull it back. No. Yeah. I did. Did a little theater in there was only one theater in high school, St. Pete Little Theater. So it was like, oh, let me go. I really want to go out for the little play. And that meant that there were rehearsals every night. But then my friends were over at Eckerd College. Of course, I only had 4 lines in the play, but my mom didn't know that. My rehearsal was over pretty quickly. Then it was like, hey, swing by, pick me up, go hang out at the college with a little college boyfriend for an hour, have me home by midnight. We're only going so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot of energy when you're young to
good
do
way to
stuff.
do it.
When you're a kid, you can do that stuff.
Yeah.
You could be up at 4:00 in the morning and start your day again. What parenting skills do you think you took from that? Like how did that inform you as a parent?
Oh Lord, my mom was a little bit dramatic herself, I think. She always wanted to be a singer, so she was dramatic. She's funny. Her whole family is just her siblings. There's 4 of them, 2 boys, 2 girls. And when they're together, they were just hysterical seeing them together, just funny. But she could be loud, and so I think that's part of what I take. And I have to say, okay, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. I jump on the soapbox. I explain everything. I wish I could just, because I said so,
Right.
Or Or my kids are in Boy Scout, Girl Scouts, and so they go to different places, like a little nursing home or something like that. And the head, she'd say, "All right, girls, there are going to be some things you'll see and smells you'll smell. Get your face right," and go through the door. And they would just, little words, straight to the point. Fix your face. And you don't have to say anything else. Me, I feel like I have to over-explain things.
Right, but you catch yourself doing it.
Yeah. I try to be cool and give you leeway until they take too much advantage. Then I go off. But in a controlled way, in a I know what I'm doing way, because I'm an actor. Mm-hmm. So I just put the melodrama on it sometimes.
You're putting the craft into the parent. That's great.
Why aren't y'all getting along? Oh, I will throw a fork down and walk away from the table.
Do you fake cry to make your kids feel bad?
They're real tears, but it's manufactured emotion. Yeah. It's performance art. But they don't know that. And I know I have the advantage. Yeah. Thank you. Uh-huh. I do. It's not fake cry.
God, I wonder how many moms do that.
I feel like, and then they just get to they just slam the door, and then they're on the other side of the door, just looking to see if it had any effect. Mm-hmm. Your family should give you some kind of an award.
Play this piano. Get that lesson done. And he wasn't doing it. That's all right. Let's just quit. Let's just give up. Let's just walk out the front door, slam it. Mom, come back. All right.
You have to be very careful.
I know it's terrible.
Do you know why?
Then you're looking for a girl just like you're crazy.
I just meant.
And then I have to back up and say, don't be manipulated by the games women play. See, I got to get him straight with that.
You can flip it.
I got to, yeah.
I just mean,
don't want that.
Don't
want that, be smart.
You could unload
because we both play games.
I'm glad you're not in a fixed gear for all that backpedaling you have to do.
You could unload a performance on your kid, and they could go, "No, I think that was from What's Love Got to Do with It." And you're like, "Damn it!" It's like, you don't know what's still floating around in your head that was in a movie that you did. Does it just, when you finish a project, does it just leave your brain? Because you're so living in the moment when you're doing it,
After a few months, maybe. With What's Love, that took a while. I was sounding like I was living in, London or Switzerland or wherever she was from for a couple of minutes, and had her laugh, had affected her laugh and that sort of thing. So it stayed on me for a while. It took a while to, go through my system, process through the system.
Wow.
I mean, a movie like that feels like kind of like a trial by fire. Or it's like you're playing someone who's still very much alive, who is aware of what you're doing, who is one of the greatest performers in the history.
Best legs in the business.
Seen her. Yeah.
And
still.
Yeah.
And you,
yes. Right. Still. I remember the director. I was like, you cannot have the camera on the legs. And he went and he got a dancer from Las Vegas, and now the director was from London, and he was European, as in white, and the dancer he got, she was black, but she was, as we say, high yellow. So then you have to put on 2 pair of gray stockings. And I was just like, girl, make that money. Just cash that check. That's their ignorance, If they want to put a camera, you can't. A dance performance, you have to see the feet, the leg in relation to the whole. But at one point, they wanted to go there, but then they cast someone whose legs are your color. It's like, well, that was the least of it. Tina has a high butt. You have a. It was like, oh Lord,
wow.
You have a baby girl, and if you just had to, as we say, just. Let some of the battles go. Yeah.
Was that
to win the war?
Was that disappointing though? I mean, like you think, you get this role and it's like a breakout role, and I'm sure you must be thinking, well, everything could change. This could take me down this path that I want to go down, and then you're dealing with shit like that. And was that part not what you expected? Was it disappointing?
Well, at that point, I was so. I mean, it was like the first big role breakout, but you're still. New to LA, still auditioning. every experience is wonderful. I mean, you've never been in a position where you're number one and you calling all shots and producing whatever happened. It was none of that. So it was all fresh. It was like, and every day was difficult. It had its difficult because it was like physically draining. And, up at 5, you're training for about, 4 hours, and, you're dancing for 10, and you're eating chicken and string beans. I mean, and no luxury of sitting at a table to do it, so it was just at black coffee. You're driving, you get stopped by police because your emotions are just right on the edge, and then you're like, I fell asleep at the wheel going home. Could I please have a driver? Oh, yeah. I mean, you didn't know what you could ask for.
Wow.
All you know is that you're going to, attack the work, and you're happy to do it. It's just crazy every day. Your body hurts, you're emotionally fraught. I remember 17 hours of just like, when he knocks her over the back of the couch and drags her down the hallway, and the little baby boy sees it with his truck and turns around, and he's crying. I was off camera crying, but, just set because there was a stunt girl in there for some of it. But, I mean, you don't know. You go for it. I said, I'm going to have an aneurysm at the 17 straight hours of just giving it all you got emotionally, take to take.
Had you ever experienced anything like that before?
No, never. On stage, it's 2.5.
Right.
2.5, and then you walk by Morgan Freeman eating grapes.
Right. Yeah, you do.
So how did you feel coming out of that? Did you feel like, boy, I don't hope I don't have to do that again, or well, that was exhilarating, or
yeah, it was. How did I absolutely felt. Wow. That was the most difficult thing I've ever done. And I said there was life before was love and life after love. After love is great, but I knew that that it would being called upon to do something that difficult that called on everything.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to be like every job after that, and it hasn't been, and it's been okay. But it also let me know that when I need to, I show up and through the fire and give it up. So it made me feel good about who I had grown to be, you know, because people say, oh, somebody else would stay in their trailer. And I was like, I can't stay in my trailer. We got to get out here and get this done, Forget that, Forget that little ego.
Were you able to do that? You were able to do that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I said, now, wait a minute. Let me say a prayer first. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. That's all I need. Let me just say a thank you. All right, get me through this day. Okay, and now,
wow,
whichever way you twist and turn me, let's go.
So,
and then I have a great co-star, that I could depend on. So as crazy as it got, we were, with Lawrence and Shy and Vanessa Bell. We were in it together, especially with Lawrence by my side.
Mm.
Coming off an iconic role like that, and then you got nominated. You got nominated for Academy Award too, and you're right away.
Yeah.
How do you keep your head grounded through all that without going, oh, is this what happens all the time, or what if this never happens again? Like, what are you thinking at that point?
I don't know. It's 5 a.m. You've been up with your friend all night waiting for what's going to happen. I remember, my friend who I was with, and he was like, they were screaming. Then the phone started ringing. To this day, I don't cut the ringer on the phone because it just was, never ending. And but I remember going sotto voce, like, oh my gosh, you couldn't believe it. From single mom, sister growing up in the projects, Florida, St. Pete, no mentor, that sort of thing. And just scratching, just making it to this place. It was, it was just awesome. You couldn't be but humbled. You couldn't be like, this gonna happen all the time. You just didn't feel cocky like that,
Wow.
Did you ever feel the weight of being a role model for people?
Not for people, but for, maybe...
Maybe for your kids
Just
you're lying
doing
to
it.
by crying fakely? Maybe for them?
Yeah. Or the mom who's like so tough, or the auntie who's over there, with the straight A's, just want to, make your family proud.
Yeah, but everything that you described, your life before that, you said growing up in the projects, going down to St. Pete, going back to New York. It's there were.
I mean, people invested. That teacher from Upward Bound who was there at that program in Florida, I think he was in the armed forces, so he was just there for that 1 year, and then, he sent me to, chose me to go to Washington for this other like presidential classroom for young Americans. First time I'm out of St. Pete, other than once in Salem, but to travel alone to D.C. and be in a room with kids from different countries and cultures. It was just exposure, and it was like he could have chosen anyone. So you come back to Florida, he's gone. I have maybe 2 or 3 more years of high school, and then my mother gets a letter just at that appointed time when you're trying to decide what college to go to, and he's like, "Dear Miss Bassett, tell Angela to apply to Yale, Harvard." He was on with his life,
Oh, wow.
somewhere else. But he said, I remember this, yellow paper and just these 7 colleges that she should apply to. And it was like, wow, somebody's watching you, and, dropping things into your life. So, I mean, a lot. So that's why I applied to Yale.
Wow.
And whoops, what? Up jump spring, I got in.
What was that day like? Getting an acceptance letter to Yale?
Again, sotto voce. Oh my God. And my mother was like she had like a day bed. My sister and I had the bedroom, so she had a day bed in this little area, and she was on her stomach just like kicking her hands and feet and like, and I was like, oh, I got to go. Smart folk up there. Well, if I go for a year, I went. For a year, we'll see. Yeah.
Wow.
But
So what happens?
I didn't think I could compete. I mean, it was like kids who went to what school was that? Choate and Exeter and what is that?
Oh, yeah.
What the heck? Your daddy do what? Oh, you got a daddy. Oh, how nice. I got one too. I know I must have one too somewhere. But so it was a little intimidating, like you say. Do you put on the face? You put on the face, yeah. Mm-hmm. You stand in front of that mirror in your room and you self-talk. You talk to yourself. And I did, literally just look in the mirror. What are you going to do? It's hard, right? Yeah, it's hard. I mean, it's kind of schizophrenic, but, I don't just self-talk.
I don't think it is. I mean, to me, it sounds like you're vocalizing these thoughts and emotions, and you're talking to yourself the way you need someone
strong
yeah,
talk.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything
wrong
weird
with
about
that.
that
You
at
do
all.
that
No,
too?
not at all.
Okay.
I've done that before, where you're just kind of like you focus, and you're like, you need to do this. You got to talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I always say you're such an idiot.
Well, that's a problem.
Interesting.
Because I think your brain ultimately will start to believe whatever you tell it.
That's what I tell my kids too, because they are like, I can't do it. I said, you know what? If you just say, this is difficult, this is interesting or something, don't say you can't, because if you say you can't, you won't. You won't be able to.
Yeah.
Everything will work to make you honest, It won't work to make you a liar.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's like, no, you're going to succeed. Yeah. But if you say you can't, you give up, you give in, you won't be able to accomplish. I hate when they say they can't do anything before they even try it.
Yeah. But that's got to be, as a parent, when you see 2 creatures that you care about more than anything in the world, I just feel so bad for my mom. I know there were so many times where she was like, you need to do this. And I'm like, you don't know what you're talking. And I look back and I go, I was a moron. I didn't know. Like, how do you help them without forcing them sometimes? Like, because they have to make the choice ultimately, right?
I don't know. I grapple with that. Yeah. But this world it's just like so different than when we grew up,
Yeah.
It was just some sanity, some simplicity, We had the 2-way party line. I don't know,
Yeah, no internet. It was a lot easier.
You call waiting into this. Wait your turn, call. I'm talking to somebody, and it's taking 4 hours. Sorry, the line's busy. I'm listening to somebody breathe. Just be on the phone listening to him breathe. You still there? Oh, yeah. Okay. Watch TV together. Now it's just too many distractions.
So you say you did not know your father?
I didn't really. Well, he did come down to Florida. I think when I was in 9th grade, came down for Father's Day or something like that, or Labor Day or something like that. And then I saw him again when I was in college and I went to New York because he lived in New York. So I would go over for a weekend, and I would always charge this number, It's the least. Oh, I thought it was the least.
Yeah. Well, it literally is the least. Yeah.
So a little bit, I don't. And then he passed away my freshman year, my first year in grad school, and I remember Kate Burton took me. She was like one of the few people at a car, so she drove me to New York to the hospital where he was. So I got to see him, and then when I got back, he had passed that weekend. An aneurysm. So, I don't fault him. I think he was wonderfully, talented person. Maybe wasn't the best father. He didn't have a good clue with that. Or that just didn't work out. But he's how come I'm here. So it was nice, sitting at the funeral. Tap, 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 tap. Yes. Oh, this is your sister, Lisa. You're like, my older half sister's like, oh. And I'm like, look, use it. That's when being an actress comes in handy. Ooh, this is ripe for mining emotion. Yeah. What are you going to do? Make it good for something.
So it sounds like you're really amazing at adapting.
Ah, you think?
Well, everything that you've described. I mean, the fact that you have that kind of a healthy response to having a father that wasn't around, being at the funeral, having the presence of mind, getting from New York to Winston-Salem to St. Petersburg back to New York, going from the projects, going to Yale, fitting it sounds like you adapt.
Done a great deal of adapting.
Wow. That's what your therapist would say?
Yeah.
That's what he would say about you.
Yeah, that's
Matt's
what I'm
therapist
saying.
would say,
Yeah,
Angela
that's what I'm
Bassett really
asking.
adapts. You should be like her. Yeah. He wouldn't say that about Matt.
Because I've never had therapy. I don't just want to talk to nobody that long, deeply.
Well, that's what podcasts
one way.
are for. That's what podcasts are for now.
Share it together.
You're adaptive.
Good. I guess
That never
that's
occurred to
good.
you?
Never. I just
want you
thought
to sit
I
with
was
that for a little while.
half glass full.
Ah.
That kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 No matter what, you're able to just make stuff okay.
Oh gosh, I try, but then I'm like, should I take this one or that one, or maybe this one, or maybe that one? Someone said, "Did you have a really controlling mother?" Well, maybe. Yeah, maybe a little. Made it. Sometimes you felt like, let me manage these emotions. It's all right. It's all right. It's good. It's good. So
What is it?
maybe that was a part of it.
So too much choice is not
And
good.
being the
Too much choice is not
oldest,
good.
Yeah.
The oldest,
Uh-huh.
So I think you have that mantle where you have to, you're the first to come through and succeed. A lot of expected.
When you... Oh, so two questions. First one being, so the phone rings. They announced that you're nominated for an Academy Award, your first film, and then what happens from that point up to the Oscars? Is it just beyond anything?
It is. I mean, it is a crazy month. It is go, 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 go. Phone ringing off the hook, loud, flowers. Just a learning curve. Big thick eyebrows. I don't know what to do. Let's see, pretty dresses.
Your agent goes, guess what? Your rate just went up. This is great. This is great.
Well, even a little bit didn't scare nobody off, I'm sure. even by double didn't scare nobody off, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, someone did that movie for scale.
No. Did I? No. This is a new day. Back in that day, they were a little bit more generous, I think, than Schedule F. At the time. They call it Schedule F for
I mean,
no reason.
even I feel like even the healthiest minded person, how do you navigate that? How do you navigate all that craziness? Because there's
But see, being that Southern girl and growing up with your grandfather and your great grandfather and going to church and choir rehearsal on Wednesday and all of that, I remember the interviews like, why, thank you, Mr. Clark. He was like, nobody ever comes on, does an interview, and thank you, Mr. Dick Clark, and you just had that respect for others, those you'd seen and stuff, and you just thankful to have been able to survive, and get somewhere that you dreamed of. So I still try to hold on to that wonder so that, and then of course there are times at home you're like, what is wrong? But not to become cynical. You always want to guard yourself against that. Because as they say, if you love what you do, you never work a day. And I do love what I do. And I said, you always thought they're joy stealers. When you ask, are they nice? Are they nice? You work with different people and you just go, just so you won't become cynical. Oh, they're joy stealers. But we're not doing brain surgery. Oh.
That's a great nickname for me, by the way.
Joy
Joy stealer. You joy stealer. But still, loving it at the end of the day. And I love just odd people, even the hardest ones to get along with. I try to find a way to get along with them. Neutralize situation. Neutralize. Man.
I love the idea of identifying someone as a joy stealer because what's great about that is that I feel like it's so easy to take things personally. Mm-hmm. Go, what I do, why is it? Yeah. But if you just kind of...
And I had agents, don't take it personal. He was like, it is personal. You don't want to...
I'm a person.
Pay me. My God, that's personal. Pay me what you owe me. Bitch, better have my money. Oh. Great song. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you want to perform more of that song, that would be totally fine. That would be totally fine because we got off to a good start.
That's the best part.
All right, that's a good part. So what do you do when you start having? Because I said earlier, and Matt said, "Oh, you have so many options." I go, "I think too many options is freaky. It's too overwhelming." Because how do you know? It's just like with editing. How do you know? People, I'm sure, are just shoving scripts at you, and how do you not?
There are periods where, it's not that much shoving going. It's all about perception.
Let me
too.
just say,
and a lot of people say they think you work a lot, but it's as if I'm programming. So maybe the movies I've done, wind up on TV, or I find myself in interesting places like American Horror Story, or.
I just want to say, if they shove a Star Trek script at you,
oh, you heard about that? Isn't that something?
Take it.
Yeah, they put that. Yeah,
please take it. Should be fucking great.
I agree.
Yeah. Heard some.
Listen, it's steady
Twitter.
work. It's great.
It is.
You kidding me?
It is. You're a Trekkie.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Matt's
way
the
deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to get work over there too, so I figure if you get in,
Yeah.
then you say, hey, Matt, he's pretty good. Maybe he can write it.
I know this joy stealer that I had on podcast.
We are missing a joy stealer in this writer's room, and I have the perfect guy. So,
there's going to be some alien race that are just joy stealers. Like, whenever they're around, everyone just feels like...
so where'd that
They
rumor come
suck it
from?
out.
Do we know?
You listen. Somebody texted me and was like, "Is this true? Is this true?" I don't know. He Fuller, who was involved with it,
Very involved.
Yeah.
New showrunner.
and I think he just
Float the
put
name
it
out
out,
there.
float the name, like see how people respond, huh? You
Well,
think what people think?
I was
about it?
very positive on Twitter, so I tried to help.
Okay,
Assuming you want it.
Thank you. Well, we'll see. That's I've had that kind of talk before, but before it was like written in ink in the Hollywood Reporter. It's like, oh, Storm. Well, I didn't know anything about, but you said, okay, well, y'all get it together and come back right. Yeah, and then it goes a whole another way. Yeah. So we'll see.
Well, they didn't write Storm very well in the movies. She's a lot better in the comics.
Yeah.
She's like she's like the leader of the X-Men, like in the comics, but in the movie, she's like
they fell down. They fell down.
That's why you need to be a starship captain.
That's what I'm saying. And
Well, I
take
like
captain no lower rank.
running
please.
shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
They come at you with chief engineer, say no.
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 You are,
Okay.
you are a Federation
No CE.
captain.
No, you don't want that.
Okay.
You don't want to be chief engineer. LeVar did that already. We got it. We got a great chief engineer already.
No, you made the visor.
wait.
Yeah.
She made the visor hand.
She knows what's up. I think, don't take Admiral either.
Why?
I think we all learned that lesson from Captain Kirk.
All right.
When he got promoted to Admiral, he was very sad.
And he had to
Because
get
didn't have a
demoted back
starship.
down to captain.
So he got demoted to captain, and that was the greatest thing that ever happened to him.
Yeah.
He got his ship back. Take your ship.
You know it.
Take your ship.
Is there anything you're as obsessed with as Matt is obsessed with Star Trek? No.
Big kid. I love it.
How do you see each? Do you kind of see each project as its own organism, and you just figure out how you fit into it, or do you feel like, there's something I could really do with like what excites you?
I love when I get excited, and sometimes it can be very visceral, or sometimes you read a script and it's like, I'm bored. But I love when I get excited and just a little in the pit of the stomach, just a little frightened, like just a little bit scared, because it should be. It's not a walk in the park. Like, I got this. I know exactly how I'm going to do this. I like when there's a little bit of trepidation, parts unknown. And
Yeah.
Parts unknown, like deep space missions.
yeah, you got it. You got it.
Interesting. I'm sorry. I just really need that to come back to television.
I mean, listen, we're talking about it now, so stranger things have happened that we've talked about on the podcast, and then they somehow magically
You're welcome,
materialize.
X-Files.
They magically materialize.
It came back. Is that
It
what you
came
talked
back.
about, the return?
Listen, we got a hashtag going on Twitter, and yeah.
We can't take full credit
No,
for
we
that.
won't. Obviously, they were in
Not
talks
full.
before that. I mean, come on.
Okay.
They had to show.
But if there was a hashtag,
oh, yes, Christopher. If there was a hashtag.
Captain Angela Bassett 2016.
I mean, we need a shorter hashtag.
I think that's
Bassett Trek?
Bassett Trek. No one's gonna know how to
Bassett.
Bassett Trek.
Bassett. You know the two, yeah.
All right. It sounds
There's
good,
two
but no
Ds
one
at
can
the end.
spell it. I get it.
You know what?
It ain't that hard.
You know what?
Yes?
Let's make it Bassett Trek. BASSETTREK.
You got
Bassett
it.
Trek, yes.
Bassett Trek, yes. Let's see if we can generate some support.
I'm on board. I will lead that campaign.
Is there any type of role that you feel like you would never do?
I think I'm open to a lot of things, but I can't, just get beaten down to the ground and it's just like no hope whatsoever,
Yeah.
Or just, some roles I've been asked to do, I just feel as if they're a device, just a device to move the story along as opposed to a full character.
Right.
It just seemed, it's just written, cobbled, a device,
Yeah.
So I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of thing.
I've read interviews before where you've talked about trying to break stereotypes in Hollywood for African American women.
I'm just a passionate person. I don't mind the loud, the defiant, the resilient,
Both
that
great
sort of
starship names. But
Right, the
Defiant!
well, that's already was a ship. Avery Brooks was the captain.
Oh, Avery, yeah. I work with him, my man Hawk. A man called Hawk.
Oh,
yeah. Came out to L.A. and the first job I get was with him, and I have to go to Boston and
Boston.
shoot it. Yeah.
Spencer
But
for
that was
Hire.
good.
Nice.
Yep.
Remember that? Remember when Woody cameoed on Spencer for Hire on Cheers? I do. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's an episode of Cheers. Don't worry about it. Defiant, resilient, you were saying?
But I don't know. I guess when I think of my mother, growing up in South, little public school, going to Yale, people have their perception of you, but to show up, to show out, to give your best, to not demand anything, but it's like you just can't. There's a segment of people, I think, disenfranchised and they are the salt. They are the glue. I root for the underdog, and sometimes I feel growing up, that's who I've been. So I always feel connected to rooting for for the meek, the mild, the young, the vulnerable, that sort of thing. So I appreciate that in people. Doing a man called Hawk, I think that's one reason it went off the air, because he was like an automaton. He was like, you know what I mean? You couldn't hit him. You couldn't trip him. You couldn't fool him. You couldn't lie to him. You couldn't kiss him. I was like, there's no kryptonite, You're not real.
Well,
you're not vulnerable.
Yeah, that's true.
I can't even appreciate your strength because it's not juxtaposed with your vulnerability, your humanity.
That's why you're Team Batman, not Team Superman.
Yeah. So I love that juxtaposition, your strength and your vulnerabilities.
So let's say you're up in a big battle, your shields are down, you got 2 photon torpedoes left.
So you're being attacked by Klingons. Right now. You're being attacked by Klingons.
What are you going to do? You're going to use your wits. That's what you're going to go with. You're going to find out that on board you have a Romulan cloaking device. You have your engineer install. I'm telling you, I got it all written. Don't worry about it.
Oh, my God, the jargon. I don't know if my mind can move that quickly.
The
Romulan.
Bassett Trek.
Yeah. Yes.
Bassett Trek, yes.
Bassett Trek, yes. So as we're kind of wrapping this down, what's important to you now? Like, what is important to you in your life?
My kids, absolutely. That they are exposed. That they growing up in Los Angeles, and their mom and their dad successful. That they just don't take for granted.
Willow Smith. I'm sorry. I just was choking on a.
Oh, mine are not that entitled. Yeah,
Willow, that's the problem. You know.
As I was saying, just that they appreciative, get an education, be strong, valuable, individuals. Find their way. That I not go too crazy in the process.
What if they go to Harvard?
They talk about that. That's okay. Because Courtney went to Harvard. He talks about that. Yeah, okay, well, go to Harvard, not just the sweater, in the baseball cap. Like, go.
Courtney went to Harvard?
Yeah.
And you went to Yale?
Mm-hmm.
Mixed marriage.
That's crazy. Do either of you care about the football game every year? No? No. Didn't think so.
Yeah, they're married since 1997. I feel like they probably...
There have been some great games in that period.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
I didn't go to either school, but I had to care because I was in Boston.
Do you have one piece of wisdom?
From Florida, it was like,
one piece of wisdom to impart to people. That's like, is there a nugget of wisdom that you always loved, or something maybe your grandparents told you, or something like one piece of wisdom that you picked up that you always kind of go back to?
My Uncle Charles, when I came to L.A., okay, I'm going to go and give myself, a certain amount of time, and then I'm going to go back to New York and, and keep at it. And I called him. I was like, I'm kind of working. I'm kind of doing. I did a man called Hawk. I mean, it's kind of working. I'm going from stop to stop to stop. I call myself like a 1 hour episodic slut. And that's when they were doing like 1 hour dramas in town. And but that's all I did. Dramas. And I said, and it's working. It came out. He's don't get off a winning horse.
Yeah.
And it was like, got it on. Click. And it just made so much sense, when you're working it, stay in awe of it, stay humbled by it, stay, thankful, enjoy every, experience and the wonderful people that you're meeting on the journey, and know you can win. It's about your attitude. Don't get off a winning horse.
Well, I'm so appreciative that you came here after junket stuff to come chat with us.
This is great.
About a bunch of random stuff for an hour. And Deb is our booker sitting over there. I begged her to get you on. Oh. I was very excited to get you on. I just think you do such wonderful work, and you've managed to do it. You've just role after role after role, you know, like even playing real people or pretend people, or, you know, there's just something a little extra special about you in a thing that when I told people, when I said, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast," so you're doing Angela Bassett. I love her. Like, there's just something that you radiate that makes people feel good.
Good.
So whatever that is,
I love people.
take it onto the bridge of the Defiant.
I love people. People. Soylent Green is people. No.
The Brazilian.
Still good, though.
The
Doesn't mean
Brazilian.
it's not tasty. But thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for
and,
having me.
Good luck with everything. London is Fallen opens March 4th.
March 4th.
So, guys, remember, I don't know if you remember when Olympus fell, but guess what?
London.
This time,
London's going to fall.
London.
But that's okay, because Angela
All
Bassett's
down.
there, and Morgan Freeman's there, and Gerard Butler's there.
Well, I mean, really, Gerard Butler. He's there to destroy everybody as a one-man army.
I feel like,
You better know it.
not to spoil anything, I feel like in all of your hands, London's going to be okay when all the dust settles. I feel like London's going to be okay.
It is.
Enjoy a burrito, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Now leaving Nerdist.com. Enjoy your burrito.